Welcome to our fans joining us on British Eurosport for coverage of round 14 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. You join us at Donington Park. Cars are on the grid with 3 minutes to go now to the start of the formation lap for the second race. And after a period of bright sunny skies and blue skies, now we've got a few spots of water dropping. Cars are all on slick tyres. And Matt Neal, there's no question that that is going to be the case. Race Control declaring it a wet track, which means they are saying we will not scramble the safety car should it rain. You're on your own with that one, boys. Of course, the track isn't actually wet. It's been dry all morning.
Yeah, it's basically, as you say, they don't have to. It's up to you guys to take the risk whichever way you want to plummet. But at the moment, it is 100% slick tyres. I mean, we have on the windows of our commentary box now, we have got spots of rain, which is quite exciting to watch from where we're sat.
Yeah, spots of rain, quite exciting. Not what any of the drivers want. The other element, of course, with the race director saying it's a wet track, is that then allows the teams to make a choice of using a slick or a wet. If it's not declared wet, you are not allowed to fit wet tyres to your car. So that's the other element there. It's not soaking, it's not even damp, it's not even moist, but it opens the window of opportunity for the teams to make a strategy call in the next 2 or 3 minutes if they need to, because the tyre warmers are still on. They have not yet dropped the cars onto the grid, which they will have to do at the 3 minute to go mark. So inside the final 5 minutes, and unless it actually starts to pelt with rain now, nobody's going to make any rash decisions, are they?
Yeah, and there's one nerve-wracking thing for the Chevy boys. I mean, they all pushed each other very hard, and it was very nervous for all of them out the front with clear air, and behind them it was kicking off in every direction. Now they're in the pack. It's how Donington, you can overtake round here. It's a great circuit for that, but it's how they're going to negotiate that traffic safely. That is the problem, because they can't afford to get caught up in someone else's accident, or in some bit of carnage or whatever. You don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see who is the bravest of the three of them, who's going to make progress through the field.
Well, they've got an advantage in that they've got such a great chassis. They can turn inside anybody. I mean, we've seen this right from the beginning of the season, even in Brazil. They could turn in tighter than people and get the traction that allowed them to take advantage of that and out-drag them on the exits of the corner. So they have got a car that you can really use in battle. They haven't had to fight in traffic a lot this season, courtesy of their outright pace and their ability to judge the first section of qualifying and get towards the front on both grids. But they might have to here. I mean, we saw in Porto last time out, Stefano D'Aste in the Vika Sport BMW on the race 2 pole under a lot of pressure. I mean, it was lock-stop to lock-stop driving from the Italian, but the Chevys had to really work hard to put him under that pressure. And now they're starting a long way further back, 8th, 9th and 10th. So they have got more work to do. Michel Nucca here starting in 2nd place, and still waiting to claim his first World Touring Car victory. Good opportunity here at Donington Park, and if the weather turns and he's able to get away and the RML Chevys get held up, you never know. It might come to him here. The race that he was looking for at Monza, retribution for a couple of years ago when he should have won. Well, pictures of his daughter and pictures from his daughter, it would seem, on the roof of Tom Coronel's car. He is our pole man, and he is ready to head off and lead the field around for the final time before we get ready for the start. Standing start for race 2, and that should help the BMW driver at the very least keep pace with everyone around him and lead the drag down into the first corner. Well, if you want to get a really good view of the action, not just at Donington Park but anywhere else, why don't you consider going to marshalls.co.uk. That's Marshalls with 1L. That is now the MSA's umbrella site for finding out about and joining up to become a marshal. The men and women in orange who keep motor racing going in this and every other country. They are the unpaid volunteers who help out when cars and drivers are in trouble and when they're not, and of course who also get the very finest view of the action as their reward for doing the job that keeps motor racing on the road. Our race director, Miroslav Bartos, waves the field away. Championship leader Rob Huff in 9th position. He's got Ivan Muller alongside him on row 5 of the grid. And the blue Chevys come into sight. There's Roberto Ravaglia. He's the
first ever World Touring Car champion.
First ever, 1987, won in the Schnitzer BMW, and still associated with BMW. And it's his man, Tom Coronel, on pole position. He's also the team's representative in the FIA Council for touring cars. So he's got a lot going on. Tim Sutton in the background there, who's looking after Darrell O'Young at the moment. Presumably trying to tell him what time of day it is for the number of races he's going to at the moment. In Ordos in China last weekend, Donington Park this weekend, and possibly even at home next weekend, I think, Darrell O'Young. So who knows where his body clock thinks it is. On board with Robert Dahlgren back at the grid, and that's a real shame, because here at Donington that Volvo has shown such great pace. It's a really strong chassis, it's got a good motor in it, and Dahlgren really fired up a track for the first time in a while. He's actually raced on before when he's come here.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously started the year with a normally aspirated engine, and like a lot of the other teams, they've been developing and working at it, putting their 1.6 turbo engine in as they've gone along, and they just seem to make massive steps with that car at every meeting they come to, and it's really encouraging to see. And you know, he's been almost in lap times the best of the rest of the Chevys this weekend, but it's just a shame we couldn't have seen him further at the front, bar a little bit of a misdemeanor in qualifying.
Well, you know, after tracks like Brno and the Hungaroring that he'd never been to before, he did race in the UK. He did 3 seasons in Formula Ford and then Formula 3 before heading off to Scandinavia and taking up a touring car career. So he has come to a track, I think, for the first time all year that he's actually raced on before. Certainly he'd had no experience of Porto or any of our other recent tracks, and I'm not entirely convinced he'll have been to Oschersleben either. So here at least he's got an idea from the moment he arrives of where he's going, so he can concentrate on getting the car to do its job as well. Moments of tension in all the garages before the start of the race as we head to the end of our formation lap with more rain starting to fall. Still just a little bit of drizzle. Caroline Menu on the left, Alain's wife, and on the right-hand side you saw Justine Monnier, who is Yvan Muller's girlfriend, watching there. Rob Huff's mum, dad, his girlfriend Jazzy, his fiancée, his sister are all here watching with friends and family, and hoping perhaps for a win from Huffy. It's going to be a hard-fought one if he gets it. The grid is now complete, and Tom Coronel on pole position. He's in his grid box, unlike Stefano D'Aste last time. So we are now ready to go. There is a bit of a hold, and the green flag now waves. Red lights will come on, and when they go off, away we go for round 14 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Very slow start from Michel Nukia, and trying to come alongside Tom Coronel around the outside. Now Javi Villa will drop into second place. Engstler in third, and Thiago Montero getting bottled up behind the German driver. Turkington up the inside of the 2 Seats. He's going for 4th place into Hollywood, and he's getting it as well. Turkington is up into 4th place in the BMW. So it's a BMW 1, 2, 3, 4 as they head down the hill into spots of rain, and suddenly it's a little bit like the old days. The BMWs with a track here and in some conditions they can do something about. As we ride on board with Christian Poulsen, you see the 3 Chevys in front of him. Well, Coronel going off like a scalded cat from Villa and Engstler and Turkington, leaving the yellow wedge to hold off Alain Menu, who is now battling for 5th position. He's on the inside going up to Coppice with 2 Seats on the outside. Danger zone there for Nukia on the outside. Tarquini clatters through, and Nukia gets cannonballed off there into the barriers, and that, I'm afraid, is possibly the end of his race. He didn't hit them hard, and already Dahlgren's blue Volvo is making progress. And which of the blue Chevys is in trouble there? No, Menu's moved up the order now, and then it's Huff, and Muller has been jumped by Mehdi Bernani, and Muller is really under pressure, and this is Thiago Montero with a rear tyre rub after that contact with, well, essentially with Tarquini going up the inside. And there is Muller. He gets in front of the BMWs. There's 1, 2, 3 of them there with Dahlgren in behind as well. We'll wait till the end of the lap to set the order and just try and call the action as we can. On board with Poulsen right up behind Bernani. So Bernani got by him. So it's Coronel who comes towards us as the leader. Then the next 3 cars are Villa, Engstler and Turkington. The blue Chevy of Menu. Then Tarquini looking inside him. Darrell O'Young, the yellow Chevy. Then Huff and Muller. Then Bernani, Poulsen, Barnes, Michelis, Dahlgren in 14th from 20th. And crawling in is Montero. Oriola's gone missing as well. I didn't see where. So too has Nukia. We did see where. And Menu under pressure from Tarquini as Huff dive bombs through the old hairpin straight by Darrell Young. I'd run out of breath, Matt.
I was wondering when I was going to get a word in edgeways.
Just trying to keep up. This is Coronel for Via with a lead into, where's that? Into McLean's and out of McLean's. He's back out in 5th place. And Huff's trying to go around the outside, and that might be crucial for the championship leader. Can Huff get around him safely? No, he can't, but he's still safe.
So there's another car in between Menu and Huffy at the moment.
Yeah. Via under pressure now for the lead from Engstler, and Turkington sitting there going, which way are they going? If they go off, I'm going to lead this, but I've got Menu behind me.
3 BMs and Menu, but then Menu's got Tarquini, who's had a stellar first lap. Oh,
3 wide. Turks is on the grass on the inside, gets it sorted out, or does he? He's trying to go inside, make it 3 wide. Menu's looking for 3rd place, which he's got. He's looking for 2nd around the outside of Engstler. Oh, and he's been spun out. Who was behind him? Tarquini? Yeah. Tarquini. Yeah. That's the 2nd contact that Tarquini's had. Massive lock-up from Via. He's lost the lead. In the rain, it's very slippery. That's Huff. Through goes Muller. And Poulsen clatters into the back of Young. And Muller's got by Rob Huff. So it is spotting with rain there at Goddard's, which is not on the front of our window, so we're not seeing it. It's at back behind us. Via was the leader still.
Up, Martin. I reckon it could have just been a lock-up on the brakes.
Well, maybe so.
Water coming down.
Maybe so. Maybe Muller threw it at the inside and got sideways. He, in fact, has just set the fastest race lap, 1:39.9, Ivan Muller, as he passed Huff. Maybe he was just destined to get by Huff and threw it up the inside and got sideways.
Huffy's going to be kicking himself now, having looked at the back of Muller's car for the whole of race 1. Now to be back gifting him that in race 2.
Well, Thiago Montero having a wretched time here, I'm afraid. Didn't get a single lap in on Friday. Not a single lap in on race 2 either. And Via again locks up, and look at Menu inside. He goes through. Engstler's got the move here, but Menu has got a little bit of an overlap. He's got clear air down the straight, or has he? No. And here comes Tarquini looking down the inside, making it 3 wide. And Tarquini made contact with the 3rd car, and he pumps off Via, and off goes Menu as well. Tarquini apparently has gone out with something on the windscreen that's obscuring his vision, because he is in an entirely different world of clattering people off from anything we've seen in this championship. And he now has Coronel off on the outside as he desperately defends against not 1, not 2, but 3 Chevy Cruises. Tarquini is making this very easy for Chevrolet by knocking everybody else off. Javi Villa leads.
Gabrielli's on fire.
Do you know what? The stewards may well be calling him in before even the end of the race to talk to them. He's had now 3, 4, 5 cars off, and you can't say that all of them were the cleanest moves you've ever seen. Franz Engstler leads the race. Last time I said that, some local police chief drove out of the pit lane with a safety car in front of him. Let's hope there's no repeat of that. We've got rid of those wildcard elements, but he leads the race. Via with a right rear puncture after contact from Tarquini, who is now in 2nd. Matt, of course, former British touring car champion, so knows how to drive a front-wheel drive car around this track as well as almost anybody. He's got another former British touring car champion behind him in the form of Rob Huff, Ivan Muller. Rob Huff's behind him. Menu has been shuffled down to 6th position by Coronel, and the BMWs are lining up behind. Dahlgren's Volvo now 10th, by the way, as we look back from Poulsen in 8th to Michelit, and then Dahlgren's gone by them, so he's gone up to 8th. I mean, there's even more going on than in race 1.
That move, I'll tell you what, that move earlier with Menu, you had to, I feel sorry for him because he did everything right and then just got hung out and, on the outside and pushed going into the S's. So